Are you ready for another weekend of SEC football? Because week number 7 is officially here, and that means the overtime drive is here to preview, predict, lock in our best bets, and talk everything in the upcoming weekend because it is Wednesday, October the 8th. It's another Wednesday here on the overtime drive. And as always, I am Chris Phillips. He's Cole the Bear Thompson. We appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we are fired up to be coming here back to you live once again here on a Wednesday night because we get a lot to get into. Before we get it going, make sure, as always, you hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. We are on the race to 30,000 subs. We can't do it without your love and support. Also, make sure you check out our friends over at FANDUEL because, as always, we are brought to you by our friends at FANDUEL, FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today and get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Once again, FANDUEL.com/SECU to get your bonus bet today when you win that first $5 bet. Get in on the action today with our friends at FanDuel. Again, this is the Overtime Drive, SEC Unfiltered, SEC football show, the best SEC football show on the internet. Is Wednesday, October the 8th, which means we are getting you primed and ready for another electric weekend of SEC football. And this one's the first of a few in the month of October that's got a feeling of separation Saturdays. Folks, this is where the men get separated from the boys. This is when we start to find out who's the contenders, who's the pretenders, whose playoff dreams are just that, dreams, and who's going to make those dreams into reality. These next few weeks are going to define a lot. You can't make the playoff in October necessarily, but your dreams, again, can be dashed. And again, we're going to find out a lot about these teams over the next few weeks, starting this weekend. Once again, we appreciate you all being here. I'm Chris Phillips. Joining me, as he always does, we're previewing, we're predicting, we're locking in bets. We're taking your questions and your comments. Myself and my good friend Cole the Bear Thompson joining me once again. Bear, what's going on, man? Appreciate you taking the time. Excited to chat with you. Excited to be on this show tonight with you because we have got a lot of fun things to discuss once again.
Buddy, you said all the right things, except you forgot one major one, which is false hope. You get a signature win to start off the month of October, and then it all comes crashing down. South Carolina traveling down to Death Valley to take on LSU. What if this offense comes to life and you get the revenge game, but then you drop 3 in a row? What if Missouri closes out its homestand against Alabama, goes 6-0, and then they proceed to lose 3 of their next 4 because they're all road games, and they don't have a shot at going to the college football playoff? Oklahoma, team right now is humming, undefeated, feeling pretty good about John Mateer potentially being back for this matchup. What's going to be the status for the offensive personnel? You take on your rival. Does feel like you should be the favorite, even though we know this game is topsy-turvy, out of left field, batshit crazy. Then you got to turn your head to the rest of the month of October. Oh, look, we have a road test in Columbia. We have a road test in Oxford, Mississippi. We have games against Tennessee. We do not know if we're going to survive all this. So the false hope that we see on this weekend for some teams will be alive and well, and you'll hear the people say, we feel like we're built to go on a playoff run, and they'll proceed to go 8-4 and fail to make the postseason picture altogether, which is why we love October, which is why we love this month of college football.
Bear, before we get rolling, on a side note, I do want to, normally I don't take a moment to pat myself on the back or take a victory lap or give myself an attaboy because, listen, we just wake up and we do what's necessary. And we don't ask for any, extra glory or congratulations. We just do it for the love of the game. But I would like everyone to know tonight that, some people, Bear, they question when I moved to Nashville, would I let the city get the best of me? Would I lose my discipline? Would I lose my, as Kirby likes to say, fire, passion, energy? Would I lose my hunger for it to do it on a day in, day out basis, night in, night out basis with you at times? I just want you all to know tonight, at this very moment, about 2 miles from me, Post Malone is performing a free concert, and I could have gone, but I couldn't have gone because I had business to attend to with the Bear and with you all. And, oh, by the way, let me throw this little cherry on top. I didn't tell you earlier, Bear. Per his Instagram, because he's celebrating the grand opening of his bar down on Broadway, he's performing till about 9-ish. Per his Instagram, I don't know what the kicker is, but he has literally said everybody who comes to the concert and is hanging out, he is putting all of them on his bar tab at his bar. So not only am I giving up a free concert, and I love Post Malone, but I'm giving up a free night of making really poor decisions, alcohol-fueled decisions down on Broadway, which is actually, now that I think about it, probably a good thing. So thank goodness for all of you being here, and thank goodness for this show. Otherwise, I'd be out doing who knows what tomfoolery and shenanigans. And we have a weekend filled with those upcoming already in Dallas. So, no, anyways, I'm just messing. It's good to be here. Also,
I'm not Post Malone, but I am a good friend.
No, it's okay. You're
much
better.
Some of the barbells these days.
You're
taking
much
it to Texas. Like, we're gonna go have fun in this Texas State Fair. You're gonna eat some random food. We're gonna play some boardwalk games. I mean, like, you're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be a Lone Star hoedown. And by the way, for those of you that are gonna be in the area, if you want to hang out with us on Friday, our friends at Texas Sport Unfiltered. We are meeting up with them at a bar from 3 to 6. We're going to be there. We're going to be celebrating. We're going to be indulging in perusing in some alcoholic beverages. So make sure you stop by. Make sure you say hello to us, and make sure that you go ahead and catch in some action down the Lone Star State, because I can tell you what, it's going to be a fun weekend for all of us involved.
Yeah, really excited to hang with those Texas Sports Unfiltered guys. They invited us. Not exactly sure how long we'll be there. Probably a good little bit. We'll be hanging out for a while, again, taking questions from fans, talking about the game, talking about our predictions. I'm sure they'll be thrilled to have us on there talking about how we think Oklahoma is going to win the football game. But it's going to be great conversation, great banter. Definitely encourage you guys to come out. Also, again, it's about hanging out with you all tonight. Miss Terry's Bathwater's in the building. What's going on, Miss Terry's Bathwater? Smells like bacon. Tennessee playing Arkansas, of course. Josh Crawford's in the chat. What's going on, Josh? Big Oklahoma fan. Shout out Boomer Sooner. Tony Mathis says, I bet Mizzou Bama game will be a good game. It will be. We will talk about that one here in just a moment. And again, we appreciate all the others that'll fill in Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. And if you're listening via podcast, which of course there's many of you, we appreciate you all as well. Bear, we're going to start off with our best bets here. Our friend Sooner Cowboys, by the way, commenting, Boomer, what's going on? Hey, listen, it is the Wednesday going into Red River Shootout weekend.
Yep.
I'm seeing a lot of Sooners comments. Texas fans, where you at? Don't go quiet on me now on a Wednesday. Just what? We're not, are we 72, 96 hours from kickoff? A little bit less?
A little bit less.
Don't go quiet on me now, Texas fans. Don't go quiet on me now. We even got Gamecocks in the chat. Austin Wright says Spurs up. What's up? Ain't heard from a Texas fan yet. Either way, we're going to get into our best bets here. I want to say this too, by the way. It is a great day because, Bear, I'm sure you saw the news. And let me get the exact number. I want to make sure I hit the nail on the head here. I don't want to mess this up because do you know what today was the start of, Bear?
The countdown to the beginning of the end of me turning 32. Yeah, I mean, that was one thing, but no.
I thought you were still 29.
On 29 plus, what would it be? 3 this year? Is that what we're going to go with? Yeah, 32.
Something like that.
Yeah, 29 plus 3 on Friday. That's what we're doing. Okay,
so today is the start. There is either a college football or NFL game every single day starting today for 49 consecutive days.
Yay.
Which means tonight we've got college football, which means your boy took a flyer on a 2-team parlay riding the underdogs, which right now does not look good because Middle Tennessee is down 16-10. It's okay. Got the whole
Missouri State's winning that game?
Yes, 16-10.
Oh, my God. Are they really?
Yeah, 24 seconds left in the second quarter. And even worse, I did a 2-team parlay with both underdogs. UTEP, the other underdog, they are losing 13-0 with 5 minutes to go in the first half. So, hey, listen, but it's for the love of the game because college football in the midweek is officially back. That, my friends, is worth celebrating and just throwing some money down on it just because.
Why not?
Just because. Bear, I was walking around downtown Nashville today, getting a walk in after I went to the gym. I mean, dude, it's like low 70s. Air's got a crispness to it. We are officially in October, my friend. It feels good to say that. It's only right. There's 49 days of football ahead of us.
I mean, listen, my entire backyard is filled to the brim with dust and debris because of the fact that we don't have seasons here. We just have heat. And so my grass has completely been destroyed instantaneously. But, I'm happy that you have at least some nice little breeze going on your way out in October in Nashville. Enjoy the pure hell that you're going to have this weekend out in Dallas because you're going to truly figure out you're in a great spot because there's no such thing called, seasons down here in Texas.
I'm excited for it either way. Yeah, let's get a little heat wave going. All right, that being said, let's bring the heat beer. Let's talk some Week 7 best bets. Released these earlier today on social media. Boom, here we go. Best bets for the Week 7 slate. I am sitting at 16-14. Bear is at 17-13. I am catching up to you, though, Bear. You had a rough week last week.
I went 1-4. It was not a good week.
Tough.
Thankfully, those golden flashes of Kent State decided not to
That was the only thing.
Not to score, and they put the third-team offense in for Oklahoma. Not the second team, the third-team offense in for Oklahoma. And thankfully, that was enough to go ahead and secure just enough of a 1-point lead, or I would have gone 0-5, and we would have had the same record.
Hey, minor setback for a major comeback. I did go 3-2 last weekend, by the way. No big deal. Sooner Cowboys wants to point out before we get going, Bear, UTEP had a competitive game with Texas and Austin. They are losing 13-0 to Liberty just before the half. That is a really good point. Listen, you're only stating facts. You're not even talking crap.
So Liberty's almost as good as Texas is what he's saying. We got you, Cowboy.
Because the transitive property of college football always works. All right, let's get in these best bets, Bear. We're going to start with our first one. You and I picked the same game, same pick, so let's both just talk about it. We are both going with Alabama to go into Columbia, Missouri, not only win, but cover the 3.5. And by the way, guys, we're going to get in the full previews and predictions as well. But, of course, all of these games, we've already done individual previews and predictions, so highly encourage you to go check those out for a more in-depth breakdown of every game. But, Bear, as we talked in the preview, you and I both, it's more of belief in what Bama is doing than something that maybe Missouri is not. I don't think Missouri is a bad team. Ahmad Hardy is the best running back in the conference, if not the country. I think Bo Perbula is a fine quarterback. I love what Eli Drinkwitz has built at MIZ, but Alabama is rounding into form to be the Alabama we thought they were going to be coming in the season, and that, my friend, is a dangerous Alabama team.
Alabama right now, I still think, has another gear to its offense that we have yet to see truly unfold. Remember, we've only gotten 2 games with Jam Miller. He's still getting acclimated to running with this offensive line in live reps. So what if we see him take that another step forward? And now we're talking about a 175-yard rushing game. And it's back-to-back 100-yard rushing performances for the Crimson Tide with one running back. Let's say that there is an opportunity for you to have more consistency with the deep ball accuracy downfield from Ty Simpson. That's really the difference in this game. I want to preface this by saying I think that Mizzou deserves as much respect as possible going into this matchup, because if there are people out there that have said this entire week, and it drives me crazy, well, who have they played? Who have they gone up against? You can't make your schedule. What you can do is show when you have those games lined up what you look like at your peak. And Missouri has done that, and that's where they deserve some respect. The problem is that Alabama, the one that we saw in week 1, that's extinct. That's like the dinosaurs. That's 65 million years ago, despite it being less than a month and a half ago. Like, that's where we are. That's the difference, I think, in this matchup. We may know who Missouri is. I think we're still finding out who Alabama can be, which makes them, I think, a little bit more dangerous, and ultimately what is going to separate them, I think, in this matchup at 11 a.m. But an 11 a.m. kick, and a lot of people paying attention to the last time that Mizzou had an early kick against an opponent, that's something that I think is going to be really detrimental and important to this matchup, to where Missouri can maybe take some advantages and make it a 4-quarter game. I just think that Alabama pulls away. You and I both. Bama minus 3.5 for both of us. All right, I'm going to go Bear, and then we'll bounce back and forth. My second pick, under 42.5 at the game we will both be at, Texas, Oklahoma. This number's actually gone up, crazy enough. I think it's 43.5 now, and I'll be prepared to be wrong, but to this point, I cannot watch both offenses, especially Oklahoma's without John Mateer. We'll see if he plays. I got to be honest, I'm very skeptical that he does. You've heard Brent Venables and Ben Arbuckle talk about he's not getting any good-on-good work in, which essentially he's not getting any meaningful action in practice. That being said, I think both defenses are elite. Both offenses sputter. I'm expecting a rock fight, physical game. Give me the under 42.5 in the Red River Shootout. Well, let me give you a piece of advice as somebody who knows the Red River Shootout better than most. What you just said, very true on paper. If this was a game that we were actually taking logic into consideration, that's not what this is. That's not what the Red River Shootout is. That's never what it's going to be. So you got to remember, the over's going to hit. It's going to be like 70 total points scored. Everyone is going to have like the perfect performance. And then 2 weeks from now, Texas is going to barely squeak by against Kentucky. Like that's what you can expect in this game. Let's go on over to Neyland Stadium, Rocky Top, Tennessee, Arkansas. Tennessee has a potent offense. They're they're number 2 in scoring in the country. They also are allowing, which I thought was staggering seeing this today, 29.8 points per contest. Arkansas is allowing 31 points per contest. So if we know what the defense has been up to this point against quality opponents, we also know that you have a passing attack headlined by now Bobby Petrino sitting on the sidelines. If you know all those things, guess what's going to happen? A lot of points are going to be on the board. 69.5, that's a cheat code. You want to know what that is? That's a challenge to two defenses saying, let's keep it under this. That's a threat to say, don't mess around with us because we'll make it a really sour time in Vegas. That feels far too low of a line. I'm easily hammering the over. I think you see something along the lines of 44 to 34 or 38 to 24. Either way, we're going to go ahead and watch these have two high potent offenses, get some points on the board. It's going to be very high scoring. I think it's an easy play to go ahead and take the over in this matchup.
Well, Bear, I'm going to piggyback off you for my next pick because I'm taking the exact same thing. I won't spend a lot of time on it. A lot of the same things you said, over 69.5, Tennessee, Arkansas. Tennessee has scored 41 plus in every single game. I don't think Arkansas's defense is the one to stop them from hitting that mark again, and I do think Bobby Petrino will be in his bag of tricks. I've got Tennessee winning. I've got the over smashing, though. I think Tennessee could drop 50 in my mind. They could get close to hitting this themselves. And again, I think Taylor Green is a solid day. I think the over cashes. I think he hits easily. And I think this is a pretty entertaining game all in all.
I agree. I think it's going to be one that we look back on and say, we had fun watching this game. Doesn't mean that we had fun because of the outcome, but we had fun watching the game. Let's go out to the Plains of Auburn. Georgia, Auburn, Jordan-Hare Stadium. This feels like an ultimate trap. This feels like a game to where it comes down to the wire. Maybe you see Auburn be able to pull off the upset. Here's the thing that I will say. I do not trust Hugh Freeze, and I do not trust Jackson Arnold at this point. I do think that it'll be a good game because if it's being played at home. I do think that that's beneficial to a team that's had back-to-back road games against conference opponents. But to me, what that means is we're going to see something along the lines of 24-17, 24-20. We're not going to get into the 31-21 game. We're not going to get anywhere near that. So the under feels like a pretty safe bet. I don't feel confident enough to go fully into Georgia. I don't feel confident enough to go fully into Auburn. But I can also see a scenario where Auburn comes out very slow. Georgia starts pile driving away at Auburn. And eventually, that's enough for them to say, hey, 28-0 final score or 31-0 final score. And all we need is under 46 total points to hit. So even if Auburn's offense has no life, 31-6, the under still is going to be in play. And that's what I think ultimately it happens. Even if you do believe that at some point we do see the life for Auburn's offense.
Bear, because you're talking about that game, I'm going to skip to my final pick, which, they're not really in any particular order, but I'm just going to piggyback off you talking about that game. I'm not going with a total, although I like your pick on the under. I am going to go Auburn plus 3.5, though. Admittedly, we're going to get into our predictions. I don't love my predictions because they feel very safe this week. Yeah. I got to be totally honest with you. This is one where I think we could see Auburn win this football game. I really do. Weird things happen at Jordan-Hare, things that you just can't explain. I don't think that's a basis to pick someone to win a football game if that's the only reason you're going off of, well, the stadium is really crazy, the environment's awesome. I don't think that's a basis for picking someone to pull an upset. But I do think the environment will be a factor. I think even if Georgia wins, it is a close, thrilling game. Might come down to a field goal late, kind of like the Tennessee game did. I think Auburn plus 3.5. I'm going to take the Tigers to cover. It's a little bit of a roll of the dice for me, but it would not shock me if Auburn won the football game. But you're giving me 3 in the hook. I'll take it and expect a thriller in a game that comes down to the wire.
I didn't really feel good about this pick, but for some reason, I just feel confident that it's going to unfold either because of both these offenses find ways to score or we just see more of Trinidad Chambliss. But something tells me that this is going to be another game where we feel really confident in the direction of Ole Miss, currently a top 15 scoring offense in the country. You're seeing every wide receiver break on open, and nobody's been able to become that big number one threat. But you got like a lot of quality number twos. You got a lot of quality dudes that are able to put themselves in a position where they can capitalize and win some one-on-one battles. And Washington State's given up 29.6 points per game. They are, though, a top 55 defense in the country. They have had some bad luck. The North Texas game is probably the one that I circled the most. What are we going to see from Trinidad Chambliss with the week off? A little bit more time to get acclimated with the offense. Does it kick into another gear that we've just been missing at this point? That wasn't there last week when they took on LSU. That plus I still have my questions overall when it comes to the identity of Ole Miss's defensive backfield. They played well. Can they play even better? If they can't, Washington State, I think, has enough offensively to put some points on the board. I can see something along the lines of 35-20 or 38-20 or something like that. Add that all together, that hits the over at 58.5. I just think that Ole Miss has too much firepower offensively to find a way to not be able to combine with Washington State and put together 60 total points, whether it be 49-14 or 49-17 or 51-8 or 51-20. Something along those lines I think is going to hit to where we go ahead and see the over.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ole Miss. The over is always really a good play with them. They love to score.
Except for the week that Lane said, take the over, and we took the under, and we were right.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good, smart to fade Lane. Bear, my fifth and final pick. Give me Texas A&M minus 7.5 against Florida. I think Florida's win, it's twofold. I think Florida's win over Texas was a little bit of fool's gold. There's obviously talent on that roster, but I don't think that's who Florida is or they turned some corner. I just can't buy into that yet. And I also think Texas A&M is a darn good football team, and they're at home at night again. I love what they're doing on the ground, running the football, both lines of scrimmage. It's a Mike Elko-led defense, obviously. I'm not buying stock in the Gators that win over Texas, is going to spark them to being something that I just don't really think they are, which is a high-quality team. So I think Texas A&M wins. I think they win by double digits. It's a little scary with the 7 and the hook. You'd like it at 6.5 more, but I'm betting on the better team. Like, I'm just betting on the better team, and so I'll roll the dice on that and pick them to cover.
There's a scenario where I could see this being a very low-scoring game, like 20-10. Either way, I don't see a scenario where Texas A&M doesn't win and cover. Like, I think that there's at least a touchdown differential in this matchup. I'm going to go out to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm going to talk about a game that last season had massive college football playoff implications. Because if Nick Manwari's touchdown counts, South Carolina's in the college football playoff. And then we have 4 teams from the SEC represented. I do think that that's going to play a little bit of a factor. I also think that you have to remind yourself it is Death Valley at night, and it is a conference game. And this is a conference game that LSU cannot afford to lose. But I don't know if they will lose it. What I can tell you is I think this is a 4-quarter game. A part of me wants to believe, for as much as we have seen negative play from South Carolina, they could be like Florida was a week ago, where the offense comes together. What hasn't been working for the last several weeks, you throw that into the garbage bin, you burn it, you never touch it, you never see it again, and you come out swinging and you play a new revamped version of offense that had been missing, and it gives you an opportunity to make this a 4-quarter game and down to the wire. 8.5 with the inability to run the football for LSU, knowing that Garrett Nussmeier has yet to look like the version that we all envisioned coming out. And more specifically, talking about a South Carolina team that has a defense that can force turnovers. Even if I think LSU wins this game, it's going to come down to the wire. And that's ultimately where that 8.5 line is far too rich.
There you have it, guys. Our best bets. Bears 1 game ahead of me at 17-13. I'm at 16-14. Would love to hear your thoughts. And again, make sure when you're placing your bets, because there's a ton of football right now. We got playoff baseball, NHL, I think it's already started. I'm going to my first one tomorrow. NHL's here. NBA is here. Tons to bet on, tons to make money on. Taylor's, fade us, whatever you like. These are our best bets for week 7. And on that note, guys, I want to tell you about our friends over at FanDuel, because as always, we are brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Like I mentioned, FanDuel's got an offer you don't want to miss this NFL season. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, bet $5. If it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines. Whatever your style, FanDuel's got you covered, guys. The NFL season's here, and like I mentioned, everything else that you can put your money on. FanDuel's got literally everything. So the only question remaining is, are you ready to play? And if you're not, visit FanDuel.com/SECU to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Once again, FanDuel.com/SECU to get in on the action today. Thanks again to our friends over at FanDuel for their support of SEC Unfiltered. And come get in the action with us. Like I said, tail us, fade us, what have you. You've been making some money if you were in the game with us. So come on, let's have some fun with it. Let's get after it. All right, Bear, that being said, week number 7, we talked about the gambling side of it. Let's first take some of these questions here. I feel like I've been kind of skimming through the questions at this point, at least some of these comments. And if you guys have questions, let us know. Miss Terry's bathwater interior D-line is healthy. That'll help. Our poor freshman DB gets cooked every game. He's talking about Tennessee.
I know he's talking about Tennessee.
Yes.
You have Colton Hood, and again, Colton Hood has been phenomenal. Had that big pick 6 against Mississippi State. Had a big had that big return for a touchdown on the fumble recovery, if I'm not mistaken, in the Syracuse game. Jamal McCoy, and I want to say this kindly because and by the way, this is not me saying inside information. I'm not being an insider giving you new up-to-date source material. At this point, I'm kind of putting myself in a position of Jamal McCoy. I'll believe I'll see you play when it happens. I'm not pretending like he's going to be out there anytime soon because that torn ACL happened so late in the year. So that's one to where you kind of are who you are in a secondary. Unfortunately, this is where you got to go ahead and put it out there.
Bear, Chris Colbreth says Sellers has to have his best game of the year on Saturday. I would agree. I think he's got to go straight Superman mode.
He can. I mean, like don't get me wrong. You and I both said this in the preview. There will be a game he goes full Superman, and we will see the version of him that we all witnessed last year. Here's my question. Does it happen after you fire Mike Shula and you bring in somebody else as your new offensive coordinator? Like, is that where it occurs, or is it this game?
That's the big question. Going to be a fun one Saturday night in Death Valley, no doubt. Miss Terry's bathwater. Y'all seen the stuff that came out from UNC today? Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we saw it. Who could have seen that coming, that this was a terrible idea?
Me.
A terrible idea.
I mean,
yeah, Bear, you were all over it. I'll give you credit. You were making fun of Bill Belichick on the show.
Oh, my God. It was like, okay, listen, this is not to be disrespectful, but there are certain things about college football that you have got to be able to accomplish that you only learn from coaching in college football. I mean, like, the problem is this is a guy that's never spent a weekend on the Saturday game. And you're trying to make it all flow together. And then you make a dumb hire by bringing in Michael Lombardi, who nobody likes. Nobody in the media likes him. Nobody in the personnel department likes him. But he's a friend of Bill, so naturally you give him the opportunity to go ahead and get things going. And then people are so sick and tired of dealing with this crap that this becomes an issue. And you're dating a 23-year-old, and that becomes a major headline. And your quarterback sucks, and the overall personnel sucks, and the play calling is dreadful. So it's like all of this is now just adding on up to where Bill Belichick is a good coach. But just because you're a good coach for the Sunday game doesn't mean it's going to translate to the Saturday game. And I called it as is. This was going to be an Urban Meyer 2.0 just meant for the college football level. They took one to the NFL side. You had to go ahead and repay the favor to the college side. That was it. And that's your whipping boy and Bill Belichick.
Yeah. I mean, I listen, I think it was a disaster from the jump. I'm not surprised at all this is happening. Yeah, the sooner the better that this ends for UNC. I think UNC fans deserve much better than this. Bill Belichick, legendary coach, not a college football coach. And a quick shout-out, Bear, before we get into our picks here and our preview. Our guy Bucknuts is back in the chat. What's up, Bucknuts? What's going on? Our resident Ohio State commenter, viewer, watcher, engager. Everybody's got – there's one in every crowd, right? There's one in every crowd. Bucknuts, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Great to have you here. All right, that being said, week number 7 – we've got our pick 'em. We're diving into it, each and every single one of our picks for the week 7 slate. Without further ado, I hate to inform you all, but the Bear and I are really, really boring this week. Who copied whose homework? We may never know. And by the way, let me give you the updated records, by the way. The updated records are I am sitting at 57-9. The Bear at 55-11. Yours truly has not hit double-digit losses yet. the Bear fell behind another game last week. What happened, Bear?
Do I really have to continue to live this up? Do I have to continue to
We know what game happened.
What happened.
We know what game happened.
I decided to go ahead and say the battered Aggie syndrome was going to show on up against Mississippi State. And that would have been the moment where it all came crashing down.
The first half, I thought you were right.
You know what was funny? I made the switch on 2 games. And I would have been right on one, and I would have been wrong on the other. I mean, if I would have been right on both, I would have been perfect back-to-back weeks. What did I say in the preseason? Florida was going to beat Texas. Florida was going to make a run, and they were going to find a way to beat up on Texas. Mm-hmm. So switch that one. And I said that Texas A&M was going to find a way to lose, but I guarantee you it'll be to like Arkansas. That will be their Tennessee of this season. And I said, nah. Mississippi State looks too good. You know, I didn't pay any attention. And when we made the preview to preface this, the injury report did not come out. Knowing how many injuries there were, I may have made the flip back to Texas A&M, but I lived on that. It was one of those times where it's like, go down with the sinking ship. The graphics made, you did the prediction video, go ahead and live with it. So that really was the difference in that game.
Bear, that being said, I don't blame you for your picks. It is what it is. I also went with Texas in the ball game. So, I mean, it happens. But let's talk through these Week 7 picks because I like to think more so great minds think alike. And it's not we are justified in all 7 of these picks. I think all 7 of these picks make sense, even though it's not fun, it's not dramatic, because you and I went the same on every single one of them. So let's talk this through. Let's start first, obviously, the early game. We've got Alabama traveling to Columbia, Missouri. Bama is a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under sits at 52.5. Barrett's well documented. You and I both are going with Alabama to win the game. We are both going with Alabama to cover.
Yeah.
This feels like a good pick. The confidence level in this one, I feel pretty confident in Bama. I really do. I'm like, we love our Mizzou brethren. You have a love affair with MIZ. I went out there to Como. They're great. They're awesome. You and I both agree, though, the way Bama's rounding into form, it's going to take an exceptional performance from Missouri to win this football game. And I just don't think anybody can stop Ty Simpson right now.
I go at a 6 in this game for confidence level. I do.
6 out of 10?
It's 6 out of 10. Because, here's the thing. Mizzou hasn't played against quality competition to where you act like, oh, well, they've been proven and tested and all this stuff. But just because they haven't been proven against a top 10 team, what makes you think that they aren't? Like that's the part where it's like, they may end up being really good. Like, Mizzou has something that Georgia doesn't have, and Vanderbilt didn't have an extremely good job of doing. Pressuring the quarterback. They have pressured every single quarterback this year. Did it against Kansas, did it against Louisiana, did it against UMass, did it against the North Sellers in South Carolina. Like, they've gotten after everyone in the backfield, and they've made offenses one-dimensional. Like, they have. And so it's like, well, they did it against this team. What makes you so confident that they won't do it against Alabama? That has an offensive line that is not fully set. They're still rotating in players. And we're going into week 7. And they're still making plays of like, oh, well, maybe we're going to have this guy start at right guard. Maybe we're going to have this guy start at left guard. It's like, that worries me from that standpoint. And then Ahmad Hardy. I mean, we can talk about him, but like, guys, they have more than just him. It's not like, hey, stop 29 and all your problems go away. Okay, well, what happens if they say, we're going to go fake it to Ahmad Hardy and pitch it outside of Jamal Roberts? And now he's off to the races. And then you get a good guy like Bo Pabula that can make plays. And what if there's like an opportunity to where it's like the yeah, but moment? And the yeah, but moment is, this is supposed to happen, but this happened instead. Alabama, they're great in passing percentages. Yeah, but Missouri was able to go force Ty Simpson to have to throw under duress, and he had 2 picks. Missouri runs the football extremely well. Yeah, but Alabama had such a bad tackle miss rate that Ahmad Hardy went for 265. I mean, like, that's what they need. And I could see it happening. I think Alabama is a much more complete team. And let me phrase that. I think Alabama is a much more unknown team, which makes them dangerous. Where Mizzou's a complete team, I think they have a ceiling. And that's what gives me confidence that we are going to see Alabama be able to pull away because they're going to get that second gear. But I'm not going to say I'm fully confident. I solid 6 for this game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you make a lot of compelling points. I think I just need to see Mizzou do it in this on this stage, in this setting against an opponent like Alabama. Also, too, Kalen DeBoer is wearing his black hoodies. I mean, there's no point in even talking about it further. It's game's over. I mean, it's Eli Drinkwitz pointed it out today. DeBoer's got the hoodie of death for the game. So, no, it's going to be a close competitive ball game for a lot of it, but I agree with you. I think Bama pulls away. Again, we both have them covering, winning that game in Como, 11 a.m. kickoff. Bear, Ole Miss and Washington State in an interesting non-conference game in the middle of the season. Ole Miss in this contest is a 33.5-point favorite. The over-under is set at 58.5. You and I both, not surprisingly, going with Ole Miss because, listen, this is not John Mateer or Cam Ward's Washington State team. Ole Miss will win. Ole Miss will win this game handily, I think. And I'm kind of interested that, like, people keep reporting that, like, Ole Miss is going with Trinidad Chambliss at quarterback. Like, no duh they are. Like, it'd be bigger news to me if they weren't starting him at quarterback. So I think the offense is going to be clicking on all cylinders as it's been all season. Going to be a fun day in Oxford for Hotty Toddy.
This is a team that has everything that could go right its way. The thing that I was most impressed with is you saw the defensive line make LSU one-dimensional. And again, LSU can't run the football to save its life, and I understand that, but they got pressure on Garrett Nussmeier. They took away a couple of deep balls. They forced every single drive to have to be won with physicality. And that's something that we hadn't seen at this point up in the season from Ole Miss. So now they have a defense that's getting after a quarterback. And they also have an offense that features 3 to 4 really quality wide receivers that can make plays, 3 running backs that all can work. Keelan Lacey's awesome. And a quarterback that also has the ability to move. Oh, here's the other thing, Chris. He's done so against 3 different teams, finished with over 350 yards of offense. Like, are we really at some point going to go, yeah, but he's got to show, he's got to show us against Washington State. They can, okay, so what, LSU wasn't good enough for you? Now you got to see it against the Cougars off a bye week. Well, now he's got to do it on the road. That's just like, at some point, you run out of excuses to be like, Trinidad Chambliss has still got to prove this. Like, what more do you need to see to understand the dude's got something clicking at the right time that puts him in a position to be successful?
Bear, let's go to the game. You and I will both be at the Red River Shootout. It's Texas and Oklahoma. It's Oklahoma and Texas down there in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl. Not your first rodeo, but it will be mine. I've never experienced it before. Cannot wait to get down there and hang out with the great Sooners and Longhorns alike. Get to the Texas State Fair. Eat me some cotton candy and every fried concoction you can think of. Bear, interestingly enough, Texas was a 3.5-point favorite when this opened a few days ago, earlier in the week. They are now just a 1.5-point favorite. The over-under is set at 43.5. Again, the money is pouring in on the Sooners. And Bear, you and I both agree, the wrong team is favored in this matchup. Now, I will say this, because as you said, expect the unexpected. I feel confident in picking Oklahoma because of what Texas has not been able to do offensively and just how porous they have been. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, everybody's dunking on Arch this week. Everybody's dunking on Texas. Wouldn't it be the most college football thing ever if, against all reasoning, he came out and played his best game of the season and the offense somehow, some way finally clicked? The other thing that scares me, maybe even more so than that, Bear, I just go back to, like, what if Michael Hawkins Jr. just genuinely sucks? What if he's just awful? I mean, at least Arch, as bad as he has been, every game there's been like a throw or two or three where, like, they're able to get something on the board late, and it's like he's doing something, showing some little bit of pulse. Like, what if Michael Hawkins Jr. is who we maybe think he might be? You know what I mean? Again, I'm not changing my pick. I'm going Oklahoma. You're going Oklahoma. But I am not exactly like, I wouldn't bet the farm on this one. Let's just put it that way. Because like you said, rivalry game like this, the history of this thing, the way the Red River Shootout plays out, Nothing will surprise me on Saturday.
Well, you said the part that I think is really important here, and that was, what if Arch Manning has the best game of his career up to this point? Chris, he is going to have the best game of his career up to this point. Like I don't think that's maybe he will. No, I fully believe it. I have seen crazier shit happen in this rivalry. I have seen things go to where you look back and wonder, how was he able to culminate all of this inertia in one performance? And it's because of its Red River. It's because of it's the Cotton Bowl. It's because of it's a 2:30 kick. It's because of it's half a rivalry game and half a home matchup. It's because of what this entails for the sport. And in my personal opinion, I'll stand on this. And I truly do believe this. Hopefully this will be the clip of the week. In my humble opinion, what truly sanctifies college football is the Red River Shootout. That is college football at its finest form, and why we fell in love with the game when we were 7 years old. Seeing two teams that absolutely hate each other, and it cascades on over into the stands. It bleeds on through the afternoon, and when somebody walks out of the building, you cannot wait to relish in their defeat. You cannot wait to salivate on their anguish and their pain. That is what makes this game so special, and that's why players play up to the standard in this matchup every single year, in my opinion. So, Arch is going to have a good game. I also think Michael Hawkins Jr. is going to have a pretty good game, and I think that John Mateer is going to have a small role in this game. It's going to be like the one time where 37-34 is the final score. Oh, and then, by the way, afterwards, you're going to see Texas find a way to get back to barely winning, like 17-10 against Kentucky. They're going to lose to Vanderbilt, and South Carolina is going to be able to go toe-to-toe offensively with this defense for Oklahoma. That's what it is. You just throw logic out with this matchup every single year, and you have to, because of shit does not make sense when Texas and Oklahoma meet up in the Cotton Bowl. It just doesn't. But I agree. I do think that Oklahoma wins this game.
So you are expecting John Mateer to see some action in this game?
You tell me the over-under is at 12 plays. I would take the under. You tell me
the under also.
Yeah. You tell me the over-under is at 7 plays. I would at least take the line. I would either do a push or I take the over slightly. He will play under 10 plays, but I think that he will at least see action in this matchup.
So in that scenario, is he just used as a decoy? Is he? I mean,
he's not going to pass,
because it's he's either healthy enough to go or he's not.
Okay, so the injury was sustained to his throwing hand.
Yes.
Which to me is where he's not going to be able to throw. But that doesn't mean you can't line him up out of the backfield and have him run. That doesn't mean he can't line up in a wildcat formation, direct snap, and just go up the middle. Red zone opportunities to score, make defenders miss from behind the line of scrimmage. I can think that happens. I just don't see a scenario where he throws the football. I don't think he's there just yet.
Yeah, I will be surprised. I'm fascinated by it for sure. He was questionable on the injury report that dropped tonight, Wednesday's injury report, whatever that means. I'm fascinated by it, but I just – here's my thing, Bear, with the John Mateer thing. Yes, you want to beat Texas desperately. I understand that. But if he's not 100%, you cannot risk the rest of your season for one game. No matter what game it is. It's unfortunate. Trust me, I hate it. As someone that wanted to see the best version of these two teams, I hate it if he doesn't play. But you cannot sacrifice the rest of your season potentially and his future for one game, no matter what game it is. So, but if he is 100%, play him. By all means, play him. But if he's not, and obviously, I mean, Bear, I think it's going to be kind of self-explanatory. If it's your throwing hand, if you can't grip the football, there's nothing they can do. You can't tough that out. You can't tough out. I mean, I don't know how they could shoot up your hand or what they could do.
You can numb it, but then you don't have that. Then you don't have the feeling in your hand to throw,
right?
And that doesn't do you any good.
Right. Exactly. So I think it'll be, even if he gets in, very, very limited. But either way, no John Mateer, no problem.
Let me rephrase this. Regardless of if John Mateer plays or not, that doesn't change my opinion on Arch having a good day. John Mateer may go 100%, and I still think that this will be the best game of Arch's career up to this point. I just believe that because it's Red River. It's an opportunity to show on out in a way to where the fan base buys in and you become a folklore. I mean, Sam Ehlinger and Kyler Murray in 2018 still to this day is one of the funnest games I have ever watched with my own two eyes. And Sam Ehlinger's remembered for that game because he won. And he won. He walked off with the golden cowboy hat, and Dicker the kicker happened, and all the other things occurred. Does that change my ellipses on what I think Texas does? I will say I'll feel a lot more confident John Mateer's playing at 100%.
It's interesting, Bear. You and I are both picking Oklahoma, but we think the game goes very differently because I've got a 16-13 final, and you've got a 37-34? Is that your final?
I have a 34-31 final.
Yeah. So your final will be a lot more entertaining than mine. How it happens will be interesting to see, no doubt.
Yeah.
Bear, let's talk about the game in Neyland next. Tennessee and Arkansas. You and I both expecting lots of points, as is evidenced by our bet we have placed on the over. Tennessee in this game is a 12.5-point favorite. The over-under set at 60.5. Let the Bobby Petrino era 2.0 begin as he takes over for the fired Sam Pittman. Obviously, he is auditioning for the job. He's trying to be the next head coach in Fayetteville again. But you and I both say no dice, at least in this game for him. We're both going Tennessee. Again, they are – I don't know if they cover 12.5. I think Arkansas could make it interesting, but I tell you, Tennessee offensively is a machine that it feels like cannot be stopped right now. And I don't think the Arkansas defense is one that's going to be the remedy to that. You and I, again, both going Vols at Neyland.
Yeah, the thing for me was I knew I was always going to take this game. I didn't know if I wanted to take Tennessee with the points or if I just want to take the over in this matchup. The over just feels like a safe bet because Bobby Petrino, he's auditioning for the job. Like, let's just call it as is. He's auditioning for an opportunity to become the head coach long term. You got to show that you have this life for the offense that's been missing out there. And so, in a sense of a word, you're probably saying we got to throw the kitchen sink our way. And you got a quarterback in Taylor Green that looks the part. You have the ability to run the football efficiently. There are some questions when it comes to Tennessee's secondary. They still allow a lot of explosive points down the field. The thing is that this isn't in Fayetteville. This isn't a road test for Josh Heupel. This is a home game. It's a home game that is going to allow you to feel more confident playing in front of the Rocky Top faithful. And much like we talk about with Arkansas's offense, you have an offense, and you have a damn good one that features 2 quality wide receivers that are hitting their stride at the right time, and 3 running backs that can all boot, scoot, and boogie like Brooks and Dunn on a Saturday afternoon at any dance hall, and a quarterback that, even though he's going to throw an interception, he's also going to throw for 400 yards. And so you add that all together, and you're like, it's going to end up being something 48-31, 45-38 kind of feel. And it'll be high scoring, and ultimately, you're just going to see a little bit more, I think, from Rocky Top to keep it rolling for another week.
Bear, I got to say, outside of the obvious, Ole Miss, Washington State, take that one away. This is the pick I feel the most confident in this week. I would be stunned if Bobby Petrino took Arkansas into Knoxville and beat the Vols. I'd be flat. Like, if it's close, hey, college football, weird. If they won, I'd be stunned, dude.
Do you give them the job on the spot at that point?
I don't know, but I'd be jaw on the floor stunned.
Again.
Especially after last year.
I'll tell you what this is. This is the false hope narrative that I was talking about earlier. This is where you provide the false hope. Times are changing out in Neyland. I mean, times are changing out in Arkansas. They're going to be able to have a new head coach that feels the part, and then all comes crashing and burning 24 hours later. Like that's what we're going to say at this point.
See, our guy,
there are people who do believe Arkansas is going to win this game.
Yeah, Zachary Rogers comments, 38-32 Arkansas. Heupel always is a stinker, but here's the thing. He doesn't have stinkers at home. Not at home.
Yeah.
There's some road stops later in the year that could happen. Not at home. I don't see it at Neyland. But let's go to the game at Kyle Field, your favorite. The Aggies and the Gators set to do battle. Another night game at Kyle Field. Vibes are high in College Station. Texas A&M is a 7.5-point favorite in this game. The over-under is set at 47.5. I'm picking A&M. Probably more interestingly, you are picking Texas A&M. So Aggies everywhere. If A&M inexplicably drops this football game, you know who to blame.
You blame the batting dagger syndrome. You don't blame me. I caved. I said that finally A&M has crossed off all the red flags that I needed to buy in that this is the year. I will say the thing that does worry me about this matchup are two main elements. The first is Florida figured out how to play football efficiently after having 3 stinkers back to back to back. And so the version that we saw actually on Saturday last week out in Gainesville, that's the version of Florida that we've been waiting to see. That's the version of Florida that plays the rest of the year. That's thought number one. Number two is that finally the deep ball inaccuracies of Marcel Reed, the inability to connect consistently on target with his receivers, that comes back to bite him. That leads to some turnovers. You're able to run the football immediately. That ends up being the problem. My theory is you take away Mario Craver. Okay, now you got to worry about Casey Concepcion. You worry about Casey Concepcion. Okay, now you got to worry about Mario Craver. Like, you can't stop both of them. And so if you can't stop both of them, that's going to be a problem for you on Saturday. And even if you have a great game plan with Dallas Wilson and Vernell Brown and DJ Lagway looks the part, you have no turnovers and you play efficiently inside the red zone, A&M has basically been able to counter every single question with a secondary punch. Hey, we can't run the football. Okay, well, you know what? Cool. We're going to pass it a million times. Hey, they're taking away our passing attack today. Cool. Our defense is going to win a rock fight. Hey, our defense isn't being able to get a couple of key stops. No worries. We're just going to run it for 300 plus yards and call it a day. Like, they've answered all those questions to where, like, it's very easy to say culture change, identity change. Things are trending in the right direction for Texas A&M as a legit threat to be considered a college football playoff team. Like, I'm not even going to say dark horse anymore. I'm going to say at this point, give me a reason not to believe that you can't make the playoff, because it feels like everything is going in that way, and it's going to be really, really hard to kind of change my opinion at this point.
No, Bear, I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, I was asked, list off the top 3 or 5 teams you feel most confident that'll make the playoff. A&M was one of them. I mean, yeah. I mean, the way they're playing, the roster, listen, if they crumble and fall apart, so be it, and I'll eat crow. But, I mean, they got the ball players. They've got the pieces. Feels like it's all lined up. Yeah, I don't think that's crazy at all to say that they're a playoff favorite.
If you told me right now, pick 5 teams that you feel extremely confident going to the college football playoff, Oregon would be one. Ohio State would be one. I would say right now Miami is one. And then probably it would be Texas A&M. And I don't know why Alabama. But I just feel like that feels like a very, very safe bet. A&M has the talent. And the thing is, they have the culture now. And that's been something that has been hindering toward their success. They got the right coaches in the building. They got the right attitude, and they got the right identity. And that's enough to go ahead and buy a lot of stock into A&M. You know what? Oregon probably belongs to that conversation. That's who it is. Oregon, Texas A&M, Miami, Ohio State. Yeah, and then probably Alabama. Like that, at least those 4 I feel like very good about.
Bear, again, I'm also going Texas A&M. I agree with a lot of the points you made. I just, again, like I said earlier, I just don't trust Billy Napier, and I think it's kind of fool's gold. I think the win over Texas was great. Texas is having their struggles and their scuffles right now. I just, can we bank on getting that version of DJ Lagway and that version of the offensive line and just that version of that Gators team again? Even in a game where, you tried in the second half to let Texas back in it. You tried to make some blunders and mistakes and self-inflicted wounds down the stretch to let them back in it. It didn't bite you, but Texas A&M, they'll make it hurt. They'll make it hurt. It'll hurt on the road. I don't trust Florida at all to put back-to-back performances together like that. So I like the Aggies. You like the Aggies. Saturday night at Kyle Field. Bear, let's go to the game on the Plains. It's the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Auburn and Georgia doing battle at Jordan-Hare. You and I are both going with the Dogs. And like I mentioned, y'all, make sure you go watch these previews, these prediction videos we dropped early in the week, because you'd hear me say it there. I'm going to say it again. Bear, I've still wrestled with this. I have a little bit. Like, you can just, because you can see it. I can see it. I can see it in my head. I could see Auburn celebrating after a Gunnar Stockton interception They're celebrating. They're 4-2. They just got the win they had to have after back-to-back SEC losses coming off the bye week. But Bear, then I open my eyes and it's Hugh Freeze's face in front of me. And I snap back to reality.
That was
my
nice.
Dream, and that's all it was. It was a dream.
No, it was the shaman man's voodoo magic seeping into your brain like he's seeping into the soil that you're inhaling.
I open my eyes and I see Hugh Freeze's smug face. And I realize, that guy ain't beating Kirby Smart. There ain't no way that guy's beating Kirby Smart. Smart, Glenn Schumann, they're going to be running circles around him. Jackson Arnold's going to be running for his damn life. Georgia will do just enough offensively. Georgia fans will be complaining about Mike Bobo's play calling, but at the end of the day, Georgia's just going to find a way, man. I trust them. You and I both do. DNA traits went out yet again. Georgia finds a way to come out of the plains with a dub.
So to me, the thing that really stands out about this game is you brought this up in the preview. I also agree there will come an opportunity for Georgia and their winning streak against a rival to come to an end. They didn't come to an end against Tennessee, despite it going all the way down to the wire. It may come to an end out in Jacksonville. It may come to an end against Georgia Tech because it almost did last year, or to come to an end in this game. If it was any other coach besides Hugh Freeze at this point, I probably would pick Auburn because Auburn's going to get somebody at home because they do it every year. They got last year Texas A&M in a 4 overtime game. They nearly got Alabama 2 years ago. 4th and 31 happened. They always get somebody, and it's a bad day at the office for the visiting team. But it's Hugh Freeze and it's Jackson Arnold. And I just feel like the perfect fit for a team like Georgia is Gunnar Stockton at quarterback. And again, there's people out there that don't like when I was like comparing him to, the second option for a fast food joint. I also think that he could be a first option. And you know what? My second option may not be your first option. And it just is best on what fits you. And you know what fits Georgia? The mountain country boy from the state that loves the Bulldogs. That's what fits Georgia's identity. And that's what's got them to win national championships. That's what got them to win back-to-back titles with Stetson Bennett. That's what you got currently residing in Athens. That's why I think they win this football game.
It's going to be a fun one. Listen, I took the plus 3.5. I do think it's a close one, but I just, at the end of the day, I got to go with the Dogs, man. I got to go with the Dogs. And I think they're going to be questioning Hugh Freeze after this. I do. I will not be surprised if it isn't some blunder, some mistake, some just mental mistake that stops Auburn from having the opportunity to pull this upset. By the way, great minds think alike, Bear. You and Bucknuts both going 27-17. You did go 27-17, right?
27-17.
Yeah. Yeah. You and Bucknuts. How about that? Thinking alike.
Listen, here. I just don't see it. Like I honestly, you know what I think? I'm more confident that I would feel more confident in Auburn pulling off the upset than I would it being Auburn plus the points and still finding a way to lose. Either they're going to get blown out or they're going to blow them out.
Bear, Miss Terry's bathwater, over under 6.5 catches for Cam Coleman. He's got to go under, right?
I think he goes over. Now, here's the question. Is he the only wide receiver to see the ball that day? Like, are we talking about 8 completions? It's 8 for 75 yards. And then we look at Jackson Arnold's stat line, and he's 8 for 13, and every single one of the passes went to Cam Coleman. Like, that, I think, is a possibility we could talk about.
Indeed. That is no doubt a possibility. Bear, final game here. LSU and South Carolina down on the Bayou, a rematch of last season. You talked about it earlier, a game that kept the Gamecocks out of the college football playoff. So South Carolina with a little bit of revenge on the mind. LSU, I feel like it's been a long 2 weeks. The Tigers, they're ready to get back on the field if they lost to Ole Miss in their last contest. Bear, the spread in this game, per our friends at FanDuel, LSU's an 8.5-point favorite. The over-under is set at 44.5. You've already taken Gamecocks plus 8.5. But we're both going LSU in this matchup to get it done. Bear, it takes unless you're Alabama.
Yeah.
It takes an elite team to come into Death Valley at night and win, and most of them don't. South Carolina is not an elite team. And I know LSU's been scuffling, and I know LSU's got issues of their own. But you know how I just talked about I can close my eyes and picture the Auburn upset? I can't picture South Carolina going into Death Valley and winning this game. I can't do it. And if they do, Brian Kelly's, the temperature on his seat is about to go through the roof, even if he's not going anywhere. The pressure, he's going to be very uncomfortable, to say the very least. It's just a game that I think LSU has to have. They have to bounce back there. I'm not saying the offense will be great, but it will be better than South Carolina's because they've got real issues on the offensive line and protecting Lenora Sellers and giving any sort of help around him. And I think LSU's defense can take advantage. Now, if LSU's, you and I agree, putting the football on the ground and making blunders and special teams comes into play, kind of like last year where South Carolina blocks a punt, that can flip the game on its head. But outside of any special circumstances such as that, I think if LSU plays a clean game, and I think they will, I think LSU will get the win. And again, you're going by you Bengals also.
See, I completely disagree with you. I can close my eyes, and I can see Lenora Sellers start off the game 7-7 passing for 86 yards. He finds Van Jacobs, changes his number from 19 to 4, looks elite in that 4, making plays, and he's in the end zone. And then you give up a touchdown. But remember, this time last year, Rocket Sanders went off. We started to see the version that we always entrusted when he was at Arkansas. And that's where we get to see now Rasul Faison have that moment. Everything is clicking. You get that block punt. You get an interception on Garrett Nussmeier. Everything is working out in Death Valley. You have the coach and the enigma. And by the way, I would run through a wall for Shane Beamer. I've made this abundantly clear on a million times. If my kid got offered a scholarship to play for Brian Kelly or Shane Beamer, I would never let him go down to Baton Rouge. I would only let him go to Columbia, go to the Ultimate Cathedral of Chaos, let him learn underneath a true football's pro. I could see this defense forcing interceptions. And then I opened my eyes and I'm like, holy crap, there's Mike Shula's dumb face. He is going to cost them a football game. Why in the absolute hell is he still calling the plays? And they're going to find a way to go ahead and put them in a position to where, oh my goodness, it's a blunder. It's a mistake. I don't like the play calling. And I don't trust right now that I am going to see Mike Shula make enough changes to where we look back and everything that happened down in Gainesville is going to happen out in Baton Rouge or happen out in Columbia. That to me is what's holding me back. Is I can close my eyes and see such joy, such pride, such life in this offense. And then here comes Mike Shula's dumb face looking at me and going, hey, guess what? I'm going to find a way to mess this up, aren't I? It's like looking at the bad luck Chuck. Who is that? What's the stupid guy, the meme with the dumb mouth? He's got braces.
I can see it in my head, but I don't know.
I know. Somebody could. He's wearing a plaid vest and a checkered vest and all that stuff. Bad Luck Brian or something like that. It's actually just It's Sucky Luck Shula is what you got down in Columbia in South Carolina right now. He's calling plays and he's costing this offense. That's why.
Yeah. No, listen, I think Beamer's loyal to a fault to it. I doubt they reinvent the wheel offensively, and they're probably feeling all jazzed up by what happened in the Kentucky game, and it works, and you're probably going to get reminded that I don't think so. I don't think so. So, no, again, you and I both going with LSU. I just, even everything else beside the point, LSU at home at night, it's just going to be really, you're going to have an exceptional performance. Lenora Sellers, an exceptional performance. And again, Bear, this is a can't lose game for LSU.
Yeah.
If you've got any hope of running the table or making a run to the playoff, buddy, you got other pitfalls down the road at Vandy, A&M, at Bama, at Oklahoma to close the season. I didn't even mention Arkansas, what they might be, but yeah, you got to have this one. And this is, by the way, for South Carolina, you need a good performance because you've got the 5-game stretch from hell.
Yeah.
On your horizon. So you at least, even if you're in a loss, you need some signs of encouragement coming out of the bye week and things to feel good about going into a straight up gauntlet, no doubt.
You have the coach though, which I think is really important when it comes to Shane Beamer.
Yeah.
And it is Bad Luck Brian is the name of the meme, and it is Shit Luck Shula calling the shots. That's what you have. And unfortunately, shit luck Shula is going to find a way to show on up and fuck it all up. That's what's going to happen.
Guys, there you have it. Again, Bear and I, great minds think alike this week. Hey, either we're going to both go undefeated and look like geniuses, or we are both going to crash and burn and look at each other and say, hey, let's never do that again. Let's never both just pick the same games ever again. Either way, love to hear your thoughts, where you agree with us, where you disagree, who you picking in week 7. It is going to be an absolutely electric weekend of games that I feel confident in saying we can guarantee. Bear, that being said, guys, leave us your questions, your comments. We'll take a few in the closing moments.
I do have one thing that I want to ask you, because this is a good month. We're getting started in Separation Saturday. So what is your bold prediction for this weekend?
I don't think it's bold to say one of our picks is going to be wrong.
Oh yeah.
It's bold prediction for the weekend. Someone that we think. All right, so I think a playoff favorite and a playoff, like someone that we feel like is trending towards the playoff and somebody that we feel like is trending away from the playoff in the SEC are going to swap places this weekend. There's going to be a swapping of places. I don't know which one it's going to be. I don't know what game. I mean, Bear, think about it this way. We could live in a world. Texas loses, they're out.
Yes.
3 losses. You're out. I don't care. You're out.
You would need a lot of crazy to happen for you to get
What
back
if Texas and Georgia lose? What if Georgia lost too? Like, we could live in a world where we're talking about neither Georgia or Texas making the college football playoff, but teams like Ole Miss, A&M, Missouri, Tennessee, them all making it.
Be fun.
Think about how crazy that is. And Oklahoma, who I just somehow glossed over. Like, wild. Just wild.
It'd be fun for us because of those fan bases really do appreciate the content that we come out with all the time. And so when we have playoff games to preview and we get to go to these matchups, yeah. I mean, it'll be a hoot. My bold take is that we will see over 1,200 total yards of offense and 100 points scored between Arkansas and Tennessee this weekend. It'll be something stupid like 684 versus 485. 51-44 final score. We're going to see 100 be hung in Neyland Stadium this weekend and over 1,200 yards of offense. And I'm going to use that as the pecking order of pure psychotic euphoria when it comes to college football on a Saturday.
I like Miss Terry's bathwater here. Talk about getting bold. My bold predictions. Arnold is benched before halftime. Arch is sacked at least 7 times. And Missouri wins by a touchdown. Okay. All right. Now we're throwing fastballs.
So I agree with 2. Arnold bench before half, I could see happening. Missouri wins by a touchdown plus, I could also see happening. Arch being sacked 7 times, I can't see happening. Here's the reason why. If Arch is sacked 6 times, they will take him out and put in Matthew Caldwell. They got to switch things up. So I think that would be the difference, is that it's not that they wouldn't give up 7. It's that specifically Arch getting sacked 7 times. You're making a quarterback switch.
Miss Terry's bathwater. One of the greatest usernames of all time. Never disappoints with the comments.
Yeah, we love this.
Also has to say, do y'all think Nico transfers to Miami or Texas Tech next season?
I mean,
good God.
Dude, if Jerry Neuheisel's the offensive play caller, I think that he stays.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Hell, no, that was the best we saw Nico play ever.
Yeah.
Like, ever. And the dude you know what was funny is that you heard Jerry Neuheisel afterwards talk about how he forgot at times to lower the microphone to relay the plays. So Nico was playing backyard BS football at times, and he looked awesome. Like, is Nico actually not the worst thing alive? You just let him play BS football?
Maybe. Our friend Mizzou Shane joined late. Need you to repeat the entire Bama Mizzou section. Well, Mizzou Shane, if you want to hear us repeat the whole thing, number 1, you can go back in this video, or you could go watch the full preview prediction we did on Monday, which thousands of you have already tuned in. We appreciate it. In short form, Alabama wins, Alabama covers, the end.
Chris is confident with a 9, and I'm confident.
I'm an 8. I'll say an 8.
And I'm at 6.1. So different confidence levels in this one, Mizzou Shane. Neither one of us feels very, 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 let me phrase that. He feels better. I'm like, watch this happen. Yeah. Exactly. And this is why. Damn, you boys just made the shit list then. Mizzou Shane. JK. Thank you.
Yeah, you should be pumped for the game. I hate it's an 11 a.m. kickoff. That'll be a fun one. Wish I could be there in Como for it. It will be a blast, no doubt. Brandon Johnson, Oklahoma will start Hawkins on Saturday against Texas, but Mateer will come in at halftime to throw 3 touchdowns to beat Texas. I just can't see it, dude. It is the ultimate week of gamesmanship, though, from Oklahoma. It really is.
Yeah.
Because, nobody really knows. Dude, that facility in Norman's got to be under it's got to be like Fort Knox out there. Don't let nobody see him. Don't let nobody see us. Don't let anybody say anything. Nothing.
The only thing you have to do is report him on the injury list. That's it.
But what does it mean?
Exactly. What does it mean?
What does that mean?
All you have to do is report him. He could be out. He could be sitting inside and watching film. He could be drinking a juice box. He could be slinging it around the yard like no one's business. We don't know. I'll tell you what. That has got to be Fort Knox level, Area 51, under surveillance level crap at this point. And you know what? I respect that. Because it's Red River week. It's the Red River Shootout, baby. You got to love that.
Our friend Chris Aaron comments, amazing content. Thank you, Chris. He also says, what do you think of the remaining games that Alabama has? Well, Mizzou is a challenge, no doubt, this weekend. You better be able to stop Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts and Bo Prabula in that gang. It doesn't get any easier next week. Got Tennessee coming at home, and we've all seen that offense. They are. I think they'll be trying to go for their sixth. It'll be their their 6th or 7th game of the season. They'll be trying to go for another one consecutively, scoring 41 or more points. At South Carolina, I know the Gamecocks aren't very good, but tricky.
Will it be at night? Probably
at night. Super, super tricky game. LSU at home. That's a game that always delivers. Oklahoma at home. John Mateer should be back and 110% by then. Eastern Illinois is a cakewalk, and then at Auburn, no joke. So Bama's got they're going to have to earn their way to the playoff. There's no doubt. This is a, and I feel good about Alabama, Bear, but that schedule's no joke. That schedule's no joke.
I will say that in some order, the next 2 games I think are going to be the toughest ones left. If you can get unscathed past Mizzou and Tennessee, and largely it's because both of them can run the football efficiently. If you can get past both of them, I think that you feel pretty confident going into the rest of your last 4 games. I that's just my 2 cents. Honestly, and it's crazy to say, I was more hesitant picking Alabama in this game than I was against the Georgia Bulldogs. I was much more hesitant, leaning in favor of Mizzou in this game than I was against Georgia and against Vanderbilt. This so far has been the very first game that I've been I'm going to pick Bama, and I don't feel confident picking Bama.
I like it, Bear. I like it. Alexis, I'm a diehard Oklahoma fan. I pray Hawkins doesn't play Saturday. We need momentum now more than ever. Well, Alexis, I hate to tell you. He's going to play. There ain't no doubt. He's going to play. He's going to play. So, and I think Oklahoma, I still am picking Oklahoma under the belief that Michael Hawkins is going to play 98% of this game, if not more. So I think they can get creative offensively. I think Ben Arbuckle can do some things, get in his bag of tricks. I trust that. I trust them to get creative with the offense and find something more than I trust Texas, who I just don't know what they can do. I don't know what they can do at this point. I really don't. So, yeah. But you are going to see Michael Hawkins play. So
I just think that, again, this is going to be one of those games where Texas has a performance to remember, and then they come back down to reality. It honestly feels like that they're knocking on death's doorstep, and this is the very last day of everything feels great. Let's go for a walk outside, and the next day you drop dead. Like that might be Texas, because again, it's Red River. It's a matchup that we always know comes down to the wire and is crazy.
It's going to be a fun one, Bear. I can't wait to be there with you. Red River Shootout, going to be an excellent time. Be flying into Dallas on Friday, get there around lunch. We've got the Texas Sports Unfiltered show that we'll be hopping on at some point. I think those guys are live from 3 to 6. Where'd they say it was again, Bear?
We are going to be at the Hardwood.
Hardwood?
The Harwood. Yeah.
Harwood.
The Harwood.
The Harwood.
Harwood in Dallas.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll drop a pin on Friday.
Yes.
No, it's on social media. The Hardwood in Dallas. Come check us out. We'll be hanging out, drinking some brewskis, having a good time, popping behind the mic for a bit, talking this game, talking college football slate as a whole. It's going to be a blast. Whole weekend in Dallas is going to be a blast. Oklahoma and Texas fans alike, y'all are there. Obviously, come find us. Let us know. We'll be posting, obviously, throughout social media where we are, what we're doing, what we're up to. Also, before we get out of here, really exciting news I want to share with y'all. SEC Unfiltered is getting back in the merch game heavily. We just made a massive order today, actually. We are starting with our first big drop next week for the game that we are going to next week, which you guys will know on Sunday where that will be. But we're also going to have a run of the SECU hat, the hat that you always see me wear, blue bill, natural top, SECU, big letters. Again, this is just the beginning when it comes to merch. Everything will be available in our online store, but also we will have merch every week from here on out when we go on the road. None this weekend. I apologize, but we're getting everything processed, obviously getting it fulfilled. But starting next weekend, we will have it with us when we go on the road. And, oh, by the way, I should have mentioned this. The exciting part is this. So we've got the basic SECU stuff with the blue bill and what I just mentioned. All this other stuff we're getting, team color.
Yep.
Team color, team-specific merchandise. We know you guys want to rock SEC Unfiltered. We want to help you guys rock SECU and your team as well simultaneously. Kill two birds with one stone. Again, this is just the beginning. I'm excited to get back in the merch game. It's going to be a ton of fun. SECUnfiltered.store is where you can check out the merch we have right now. A lot of great stuff, but we're putting this thing into overdrive, finally putting an emphasis on the merch side. I'm sorry it took so long. That's on me. A lot of other stuff going on, but really, really pumped to continue to deliver you guys value in multiple ways because that is what it's all about, man. So
I've seen the designs. They look great. I mean, I can tell you what, if you want to rock a hat that mentions your colors and mentions your school font and your school persona, SEC Unfiltered's got you. So just make sure you're going over to SECUnfiltered.store. Get started next week. We're rocking and rolling, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's awesome stuff, man. Like I said, this is just the beginning. I've got really big ideas for different designs, team-specific designs, niche stuff for us. That's the fun part, guys. We love doing the content. I love doing the merch too because it allows me a different creative outlet that I really, really thoroughly enjoy. And it's also cool that people want to rep the brand and rep us. And we appreciate that. And I've been getting tons of questions from y'all weekly about you got any shirts on you, got any hats on you, whatever. Now, finally, I will have that stuff. So I'm sorry it took so long. Either way, though. Well, that just fell off my desk. All right. We appreciate. I was like, what in the world was that? We appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight, guys. The Overtime Drive, Wednesday, October the 8th. Week 7 is officially here. We can't say thank y'all enough. Guys, as always, as we get out of here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We are on the race to 30,000 subscribers. We're trending in the right direction. We can't do it without your love of sports. If you're watching this right now, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You want to make sure you get all the notifications for all the content we have dropping because we're dropping content every single day. There's so much of it. You need to have those notifications on and make sure you're subscribed. Again, guys, check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Everything we do on YouTube, distributed via podcast as well. All the social media platforms. We're putting out the best content in the game on all social media fronts. And our website, SECUnfiltered.com. So with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Week 7's officially here. He's Cole the Bear Thompson. I'm Chris Phillips. This is the Overtime Drive, SEC Unfiltered's SEC football show and the best SEC football show on the internet with the best fans on the internet in the game. We can't say thank y'all enough. Let's have one hell of a week 7. We'll see y'all all in Dallas. Cheers.